in Europe this year. Senator Hagerty?
Thank you, Chairman Cardin. And I want to stay with you, Mr. Gall, just to continue my concerns of what's happening in the Netherlands. The Netherlands has proven to be a significant swing vote in our technological competition with the Chinese Communist Party and with China. There's a touch tool company there called AMSL. Are you familiar with it?
Yes.
AMSL produces a special tool known as an extreme ultraviolet lithography system. It basically cuts the thinnest lines in the world on silicon wafers. Mm-hmm. This is a tool, these tools, I think they cost $150 million a copy. Communist China would love to get their hands on these tools. Huawei would like to decrease its dependence on other countries because they would like to have this capability internalized in China. Thankfully, AMSL has worked with us, and the government of the Netherlands has worked with us, and Communist China has not received a single one of these machines. And that's because the government of the Netherlands has withheld export licenses for this to China. The Trump administration began this sort of coordination between the United States and the Netherlands to persuade them on national security grounds not to grant such an export license. And the Biden administration has continued this policy, which I am very pleased to see. And I would like to know, if confirmed, Mr. Gall, would you commit to fully support our efforts to encourage the Netherlands, and other key countries for that matter, to adopt export controls on national security grounds that will prevent Chinese companies from obtaining and acquiring such critical tools and technologies?
Thank you for the question, sir. Yes, I actually am aware of what in the Trump administration, the efforts that were made and that were successful. And I also am aware that in July of this year, there's been lobbying for the older DUV systems. And if confirmed, yes, I do commit to that, sir.
I think it's going to be absolutely critical to take every step that we can, because the predatory posture of China is becoming more and more evident to everyone around the globe. But our technology competition is absolutely vital. And if you have the opportunity to be confirmed, I think your recognition of the national security threat that Communist China poses, and the fact that you'll be representing us to a nation that could play a critical role in denying Communist China with that capability, I think would be vitally important. If I could turn my next question to Ms. Patman. As you know, Iceland has no armed forces, and it depends on the United States and NATO for its defense. I'm very concerned about Russia's increased naval presence in the North Atlantic, and I'm concerned about the frequency of their naval patrols. There are levels that we've not seen since the Cold War. In 2016, the United States and Iceland agreed on a new joint defense declaration. It was aimed at bolstering security cooperation, and the United States has been upgrading its facilities at Iceland's Keflavik military base. Although Iceland's government has been cooperating with U.S. authorities and activities at Keflavik, some Icelandic officials and parliamentarians are cautious about our increased presence there. So if confirmed, how would you work to strengthen the defense relationship between the United States and Iceland?
Thank you so much for the question, Senator. I would work at the highest levels of the Icelandic government to continue that cooperation and make sure that Iceland understood how valued they are and have been for over 70 years as a strategic partner. As I'm sure you know, their location is so pivotal that in World War II, we had a base there with troops, which we ultimately, thinking that the Cold War was over prematurely, as it turns out, withdrew in 2006. But subsequent to that time, Keflavik, as you're obviously aware, has served as a really critical military base for surveillance. And in fact, on either side of Iceland are the two maritime passages, collectively known as the Greenland-Iceland-UK Gap, that are essential to be used for NATO surveillance of Russian submarines before they drop off into the North Atlantic and become untraceable. So I'm very aware of the aggressions of Russia in that region, of their recognition not only that the Arctic is of critical importance to them economically, given their oil fields and other interests, but they, along with China, open up a route he wrote, go to the Greenland, Iceland, UK gap, which makes that surveillance so important and makes
Gary,